What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I figured I would jump on Motorfest and check out the new Aston Martin Valhalla, and I gotta admit, it's honestly a pretty dope car. Like, for one, I really do like the color combinations on this thing. This is the one I currently have, as it is a pearlescent. Funny part is, there is no pearlescent way to paint your vehicle in the game, bruh. Interesting how this car has it. I think there's also another car that apparently has that as well, man, and that one's also... I'm seeing some pearlescent in that color as well, but the other one I was using is this one here. Let me go to the overview so you guys can, check the car out. This thing is obviously brand new to the game. If you want it, it'll cost you 1.7-ish million dollars, 1.6 like 90 or something like that. So it isn't too insanely expensive. It's also pretty dang good for the hypercar category. If you're tired of using the same 2 or 3 hypercars in your races, you will now have something that is, usable and also that is pretty good that can't compete with them. Overall, actually, no, let me just back out of this because, oh, and speaking of that, when there comes to customization, you could change the wheels, the stance, and also the caliper, and that is pretty much it besides the interior color, which, looking at that, guys, I'm going to leave mine stock because it's looking pretty clean in there. Vanity items, most of them are available as well, so nothing too surprising going on there. But let me back out of this real quick. And the first thing I noticed here in the sunlight is the pearlescent color. Look how dope that looks with the sun hitting it. Okay, this is probably why so many players probably want the pearlescent, dude, because look how cool that looks. I mean, how is that not an option? I think people are going back in the Crew 2 and trying to bring over their liveries or like their colors. Here's the interior though, so it's pretty dang detailed. I do like the forged carbon there. Wow, man, Aston Martins really are nice. Like, I don't really know too much about these cars because I don't really use them in games all that often, I have to admit. But this thing looks pretty wild. I mean, in Forza Horizon, I do tend to use, like, the Valkyrie and stuff like that, even though that car is a little bit different. This is the Valhalla, but, man, it looks really good inside. Let's go. Let me go drive it real quick and see how it looks. So it shows you the G-force meter there, which is pretty cool. Has the RPM reader. Maybe I should stay on the road. And also, speaking of that, look at the wing, how it pops up. Let me slow back down. Speed back up around like 80 or so miles an hour. Look how that pops up. Crazy. You know what I got to do? Top speed test. That's why I picked this highway to do it this time and not the other one. Because I figured right here would be a little bit better. So it's got 8 gears. So if you guys are running manual, be prepared to shift pretty often. But I do admit, this thing does handle very well. Also, the way the speed is on it, I mean, I feel like it's going to be a great competitor. So 300 to 301 miles an hour is probably fairly average. We'll make it the fastest hypercar in the game because we all do know the Bugattis tend to do, what is that, like 305, 306-ish. So those will probably end up owning that for a while. And I would probably say most of the cars would most likely not get near what those are, but at least this thing can get to around 300 miles an hour. So it's definitely, usable if you guys are running GRs. This car is probably usable besides something like the Bugatti or the Agera because a lot of people really do want a mix-up in the meta because these same cars have almost been used since launch in a way, so people are probably looking for newer vehicles to be run. But either way, though, I gotta admit, this thing, it's pretty nice. It handles way better than I thought, which is definitely a plus. And, dude, I love the way the pearlescent color looks. That's why I had to pick it because I think these type of colors are so dope, and if every car had this option, or you could at least make them correctly, it would be game-changing. I'm surprised that's not a thing. But you know what? Let me jump into a race with this thing, and let's see. What race should I do with this car? I would do a GR, but yeah, I don't really care to do GRs. But looking at the races here, I kind of wanted something that wasn't highway-focused. I'm kind of tired of racing on the highway, and I think I found a race. I think this one would be good, because look at the route on that with all the corners. So let's head over to this race here and set it up real quick, and I figured this one would be good. That way I'm not racing down the highway. We all do know, yeah, I might as well do it at nighttime too, shouldn't I? Because we all do know, guys, a lot of people just, I feel like a lot of the events tend to be too much highway focused. At least when I was doing GRs back in the day, a lot of the events were highway focused, and I don't know, I wasn't feeling it, to be real. I don't think it's that fun. Like, I'm not sure if it's the whole, oh no, we're afraid of corners, but no, I prefer some corners, especially with a car that handles like this. Now, a few things I noticed about the Valhalla, though. For one, I did say it does handle good, but in the rain, I don't know if I'm tripping out. I feel like it slides a little bit. Even with pro settings, which I am running on it, it does seem to handle a little better than base. I don't think I have to adjust the car too much more from what it is. I feel like it's easily drivable as it is. And where are my brakes at? I don't think my brakes were existing there. What do y'all think about the brakes in Motorfest, by the way? Y'all think the brakes need some type of changing in this game? I don't know. I feel like some cars just do not have brakes at all. Like, yes, you can adjust them, but it doesn't normally do anything. And I feel like when you're braking, you kind of want to stop. You know what I mean? If you're slamming your brakes on a corner or something and nothing's happening, that might not really work out that well. You know what I'm saying? Now, a few things I also notice about this car when you are taking tighter corners with it, I was noticing like if you shift up super fast and hit the gas or do something like that, it does tend to maybe scroll up a little bit. It's not bad though, and I could probably adjust it with the pro settings if I even, want to do that. But I would probably say with not doing that, if you're easy on the gas and stuff like that when I'm flying around corners, or sometimes I'll shift up and be easy on the gas. That way it's not as much power. And the car will pretty much grip, all the way through it. And let me go around this turn thing here. Forgot, this race isn't as long as I thought. So right now I'm in third gear, guys. You will see the car gripping decently around this at 100 miles an hour. Around 80 to 100 there, it's gripping. And if you do, like, turn the wheel a little hard or, slam the gas down, it will obviously start to slide. So, probably how the handling in this game tends to be sometimes with some vehicles. Have seen that around, but even with some pro settings, you could fix that a little bit. I would probably say the Valhalla is definitely a good addition to this game. I'm glad to see it in here. Funny part is, these people who are leaking stuff, dude, they really gotta... Ubisoft's gotta go after them. That's all I gotta say. Like, I'm surprised people can get away with that stuff and actually leak it. I don't understand how they get away with it, to be real. I don't get it, because aren't you supposed to sign NDAs and all that stuff, and aren't you supposed to not do that? I don't get it, man. But either way, I would say a lot of people when driving the Valhalla, man, they're going to like this car. I really think they will. Now, I haven't driven the car that's part of the year pass, as I kind of think that car was a bit of a joke, the concept one. I was kind of like, that is the year pass vehicle? And surely enough, I was seeing comments of people going, no, we didn't want that car, Ubisoft. What are you doing? You give us a really cool Valhalla for free, and then you put that thing. And then for some odd reason, they give us this as the cool vehicle. Or, putting an odd car like the little Volkswagen GTI thing in the past. I don't know. I feel like they could put some cooler cars in the past, especially for the price of it, if you know what I'm saying. So I guess I could say overall on my final thoughts, I would highly recommend getting this car if you guys have the money. I think a lot of players would end up having a really good time with it. It handles well, looks really good. I love the pearlescent colors on it. I really do wish other cars would get that, or at least give us the option to properly do it. I do know one person on Twitter for a while there, or X, was kind of sending a photo and saying something about it every day, but stopped. Obviously, probably because Ubisoft is probably seeing it like, oh, nope, yeah, we're not doing that. But we all know you want it. It makes a lot of sense. But let me know what y'all think about this car in the comments below. Are you planning on getting it? Are you going to drive it? I'm most likely going to drive it for another couple of minutes. And then, I don't know, after that. I mean, it's cool, but I don't really do GRs. So I don't really know what I'll do with this car. You know what I'm saying?